Welcome everybody, welcome to the webinar. Very excited to have you on this webinar tonight. It's going to be a great webinar. We've got lots of people to share their stories with you today, but before we get into that, I just want to quickly share with you our 3-year vision, which is to reach $1 million in sales per month in Australia and New Zealand combined. And of course, if we manage that as a company, and the reason we share it is because if we manage that as a company, what that means is all the active, engaged distributors are also going to be making money and working their way towards their financial freedom. And of course, our top priorities for this year, as we've been sharing since we launched Ignition, is we want to increase our key performance indicators of sponsoring, sales, advancements and retention. And again, if all of those KPIs increase, then the people who are engaged in the business are going to be seeing their business grow and going to be actually making money and working their way towards financial freedom. We're developing the brand awareness, and that's really a top priority for us, and we're continuing to do that, increasing our online capabilities, which again we've been consistently doing throughout the year, and there's more and more happening along those lines, and there'll be more coming to people and to distributors as we go through the year. We've implemented our social media strategy, and we're expanding that, and of course we've brought on a new staff member who's a specialist in social media, and we'll be extending into our PR strategy. And our focus is on director level, which is really the level where distributors start to build a business. Now, of course, this week's webinar is all about Reliv 25 International Conference and sharing the experience. And we've got some really top-line people to speak to you tonight. And to introduce all of these people, I would like to introduce the Managing Director for Reliv Australia and New Zealand, Sue Stone. Sue.
Thanks, Bernie. Hello, everybody. It's great to be on this webinar with you all. And we have a great team of people lined up to share with you their conference experience. And I must tell you, it was absolutely thrilling being at Reliv's 25th anniversary conference. And I think for all of you involved with Reliv, it doesn't matter how long, it's great to know that you're with a rock-solid company such as Reliv that has had 25 years in our head office in the United States, and we're of course 22 years now in Australia and 21 years in New Zealand. But it was great to see those slides come up on screen, and Australia being the first international market and launched in 1991, and of course New Zealand was the second market following. But just to give you a real short recap of conference before I put our special guests on, that's our distributors that were attending there with us, I have to say that then nothing takes the place of an international conference. And I know for myself, it really is like getting, the petrol tank full of petrol when you go there, because you're so excited, you're so motivated to see, for myself, all my colleagues that I get to mix with each year. It's like a big reunion. You see all the fellow ambassadors and distributors that you see each year from conference to conference. You catch up, everybody's in such a fantastic mood. The stories that you hear, and I don't know what it is about Reliv, but each year the conferences just seem to be getting better and better. This is my 14th conference, and it was the best to date. There was just this magnificent feeling to conference. There was the excitement. Of course, we had so many great announcements, and I won't steal anyone's thunder because I'm sure the distributors have all got their own special memories of conferences they'd like to share with you. So I will let them do that for me. But just to give you a feel for I have never been to a bigger conference venue. This year, as you know, we took it away from St. Louis. It was in Orlando, Florida, and this was the biggest conference center I had ever seen. It was absolutely huge. And that the atmosphere in that place were full of, thousands of excited Reliv distributors. You just can't put a price on that. You really have to be there to experience that magnificence of it. Where we stayed at the Peabody Hotel opposite that was beautiful too. It had, gorgeous surrounds, gorgeous pools. That's all part of the conference experience. I think we were all on such a high. I think you might put that picture up there, Fernie, of the conference where we stayed, the pictures of the venue and the pool. Have you got them to come up? You might be having trouble. Oh, there they go. There's the conference centre that you can see now, the convention centre. It gives you a little bit of an idea of how huge it is. And of course, then the next one is the venue where we stayed at right opposite that, with the beautiful surrounds and the grounds. But what was really thrilling for us too, as part of the international contingent, when you're an international distributor attending conference, we had the very front section of conference. So our distributors were in the very front row, and it was so exciting for us from corporate to see them there in the front row, and the look on their faces as they were there and signalled out by people on stage. I know, right from the start, I think Steve Hastings, our executive senior vice president, mentioned about Nathan being there, and Rosa was catching balls, and they were handing out T-shirts and things from stage, and our people were right there. And I'd just like this opportunity to congratulate all the people that won their way there, which was Taylor Ulufonua and Christina Sia and Finau. And the people that attended, we had Nathan Goodhue attending his 13th conference, we had May Copeland, we had Rosa Ryu, so we had a great contingent from New Zealand. You can see Nathan there in the picture as he was going to his seat at the very front. We had Lynne, Culph, our ambassador from Australia. We had Judy and Ian King, which we've decided was the people that were the absolute furthest away because they came from Tasmania. We had Pauline Byrne, Rennis Crosley from Victoria, and Rennis' cousin Kay accompanied her. We had Becky Field from Victoria. We had Christine Stack from up there in Queensland. Christine Stack for her daughter, who's also a distributor, Debbie Robinson, with her. And she had her mother-in-law, Jan, and her 2 children were there to all experience part of this fun. And you can see there on the screen there was a group of us that had got together there for lunch during the one of the breakout sessions at lunch there. But without any further ado, I'd like to turn you over now to hear the experiences for one of our distributors that we do call our own, and it was one of our proudest moments when they bring up the Hall of Fame members, and they bring up this Hall of Fame member from Australia, no other than our very own Terry Renton. It's great to have you on the webinar, Terry.
Conference. Oh, I just got unmuted. It was really great to be in the conference. It was really great to have the honor of speaking on stage. This was my 19th international conference. I've been involved 18 years, so this is the very next one for me. It was something that to me was the ability to renew the heart of what we saw in Reliv. And it was so big in terms of things that were announced, and so exciting that we had got another patent also with Lunison, that it was just something that was over the moon, as you guys would say. For me, being involved for 19 years, I never dreamed that the company would continue to grow its patents. I never dreamed that I would be a participant at this level. I learned a lot about the products at the conference, and I was very fortunate to be able to teach and lead other people, and then listen to the other leaders there. One of the things that I spoke about primarily was that we can build our businesses anywhere, and we need to convert the excitement, like from this conference and other conferences like the Melbourne conference coming up, to really that long-term commitment to build our own financial future and our ability to help other people. So to me, this was one of the things that I saw that we can translate to other people. I mean, it was Dr. Ted who said, if you're in this business to make money, you can make money, but if you're in the business to help other people, you'll make money abundantly. So this conference just cemented that up for me, that we could help so many people grow like we grew to begin with when I was growing my business, and now. I truly believe that now is the best time to be a distributor for Reliv International. There's just so many things going on, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Sue, but since the conference, our stock prices have tripled. They've dropped back a little this weekend, but they've tripled. And that's very, very exciting to see the marketplace recognizing Reliv's vision of the future with its products, and a very important announcement that they just made.
Yeah, actually on that announcement, Terry, you might like to share that with people about the exclusivity of the Lunarich that we have now.
Well, one of the things we had is we have Lunarich and the Now product in Australia, Now, this is what's called an epigenetic because it has a bioactive marker that can actually help our bodies in a variety of ways. In other words, it's kind of like the potholes in the road. It can help repair the potholes in our gene structure. So when we look at this, we say, gee, that's really good, but there's other people out there that have it. Well, as of the start of the conference, I mean, that's when a lot of your announcements take place in Reliv, but at the very start of the conference, the president, Ryan Montgomery, announced that Reliv now has exclusive rights to Lunocin worldwide. In other words, there is no other company that competes with this product and this phytonutrient in a worldwide basis. And again, that really triggered the marketplace to go crazy in tripling our stock. But the other part of this is the vision of the future. Just imagine that a coffee bean, for example, has a nutrient or has a chemical called caffeine. And if we own the rights to all the caffeine in the world, and that's really what we're talking about, you know, not some stimulant that's here today and gone in an hour, but some phytonutrient, the plant nutrient that can help your body repair itself in terms of its own genetics. And we own the rights to all that worldwide. And to me, that's just an incredible position for us to be in as distributors of this product and the promise of the future and where we're going to take this company.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Terry. It's such an extraordinary opportunity, and I don't know that any of us can just realise how big this is going to be. And that was the feel from conference, wasn't it? There has never been a better time to be in Reliv than right now.
Well, I would equate this to, you know, we were very fortunate to meet Dr. Ted, but this is as big a deal as Dr. Ted joining the company in 1988. This is probably the single biggest pivotal point in Reliv's motion to go forward. And I equate this to coffee. What if you owned all the rights to the coffee beans in the world? That's what I'm talking about. This is so big, it's almost impossible to comprehend. The other part of that, too, is what if we had just 25 more people at this international conference? And I'm talking about individually. If we worked harder to get 25 more people at the Melbourne conference each, where would our business be listening to the excitement of what we heard at the international conference? So we really have to talk with conviction communication. We on this call have to remember the feeling that we had at this conference and translate that and transmit that to those people that need to be at this conference and have that conviction communication. We got to recognize that this is the answer to the financial prison that people are in, and this is the answer for the health problems they have.
Yeah, exactly right, Terry. And I just want to say to you too, with this Melbourne conference coming up, what would you say to people? Should they only invite distributors that have been in the business for a couple of years? Like, who should they invite to conference?
I would tell you, Sue, that they should be talking to everybody that breathes a breath. This is a situation where you have the ultimate health situation at our fingertips now. Who doesn't want to feel better? Again, this is a situation where we just had our stock triple. I mean, the implications to that is the public is starting to understand what kind of a company this is and how rapidly that's going to move forward. Well, that's going to translate for us as distributors in Australia and New Zealand to have a vital role in helping people and making an abundant amount of money. So who doesn't want to make more money helping other people? So the answer to your question, Sue, is we should be shouting this from the rooftops. We should let our excitement translate to commitment. We should let that commitment translate to that conviction of bringing everybody, not one person, not 5 people, but everybody that needs help with their health and their finances. And I feel very strongly about that.
Thanks, Terry. And of course, you're absolutely right. And I have to tell everybody that missed the international conference that Terry did the most awesome workshop at that conference, and I don't think you realise that as a Hall of Fame member, he is one of the top income earners in the whole of Reliv, and he will also be attending our conference in Melbourne in October. So we have just got so much happening at that conference, and you have one of the best presenters in all of Reliv will be attending that conference. Isn't that right, Terry? You'll be there to help us?
I will be, except that that picture that you had there with Judy looking at me, I don't know about that picture. Thank you so much for your kind words, Sue.
Thanks, Terry, and thanks for being on with us. And as I said, it was just an awesome conference, and the message that just kept coming across was you need to share Reliv, you need to share LunaRich with everybody you meet. Is that what you got from conference, Lynne?
Absolutely, absolutely. That was the thing I was just going to say at the end. You know, we haven't got a better time. There's not a better time in Reliv to help your business to grow. And as far as getting to the Melbourne conference, the fact is, if you don't go, you won't grow. And it's just as simple as that. People that want to grow their businesses need to be at conference. And I didn't attend my first conference, much to my disgust now, because I realised by not attending that first conference when Nola asked me to go, I held my business back at least 6 months. But when I went to an international conference, that was a whole other ball game, because you're seeing things from a much, much bigger perspective. And I also was so excited. Look, I just can't believe what we have in our hands here. And like you, Sue, I didn't realise what it was until we actually heard Dr. Carl and Dr. Fred talking about it. You know, Dr. Carl said this ingredient is going to be the biggest game changer in nutrition and medical history. Now, what a statement is that? You know, that's just huge. And the lunasin that's included into our now product, it just helps our products work so much better. They're seeing such elevated results. And he also said, which is exciting, what we are seeing in trials is what drug companies are desperate for, and we have it. And he said this will help us feel younger, feel better, live longer, and help prevent all the major illnesses that life can throw at you. You know, what statements? That's just amazing. And
yeah, it was amazing.
It was. I had the pleasure of talking to Tracy from Soy Labs. I spent a bit of time with her at one of the receptions, and she was so interesting to talk to, and it's so great to have them involved with our company. She said that she can now take control of the destiny of her children. And she said, what we are seeing here, as well as her own destiny, of course, and she said, what we are sitting on here is a tsunami, not a wave. You know, so that's amazing. But look, Bob too, I really enjoyed hearing Bob talk. I enjoyed seeing the history of the company, and it was great to see it in pictures. You know, we all knew about that. I've been in Reliv for 21 years. We all knew about the 1993 flood, how it just absolutely devastated all the businesses in the area, but we didn't miss a day's trading, you know, because the distributors banded together and they got everything out of the factory. They did not miss one day's trading, and the whole factory went underwater. I thought that was just amazing, and to see the history was really great. And as always, you know, the international reception was fantastic. And I must say at this point, it was just so fantastic to see Ian and Judy there in America with me and be able to introduce them to everybody, from corporate staff and to my old friends. You know, the people that we work with in Europe, to see them growing and be able to introduce Ian and Judy to them. It was just absolutely amazing to have my cousins with me. And we have become such closer people because of Reliv. Reliv doesn't not only give you your health back like it did me. It gave me a business, but it also brought me closer to my cousins that I really didn't know them before Reliv. So I just think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And the workshops. Sorry, Sue.
Oh, no, I was going to say that's a great picture of you there on screen now, you and Ian now at the rally for the mission.
Oh, talking about the rally, wasn't that awesome with Aubrey? And I didn't know Aubrey had such hidden talents. But no, that was absolutely fantastic. But one of the, I will say too, I was very privileged to be able to be asked to participate in one of the workshops. I actually sat on the panel in Betty Blazek's workshop, and to have the honour of doing that at an international conference was pretty special for me. But as you said, Terry's workshop was fantastic, but they were all good. One of the workshops that really touched me was, you know, how it was actually put on by Jim Shavens, and he talked about, are you too busy to do this business? Now, we all have people say this to us, but the workshop was about finding minutes in your day, and it was just an absolutely fantastic segment. You know, not everyone can have hours in their day to do it, but we can all find minutes, and how he did that was very, very good. I really enjoyed that segment. And as I said before, you know, there's never been a better time with Reliv. We're just very excited because we're just about to head off on a teaching and training tour for 3 weeks all through America, and we're going to be so excited and meeting some excited people as well. And I'm actually coming back to Australia earlier, Sue, in preparation for this conference in Melbourne.
Oh, great, and that's good to hear. And what would you have as a message for people about attending conference in Melbourne on the 11th and 12th?
Simply, if you don't go, you won't grow. And if you want to grow a business, and if you want to help a whole lot more people, you know, this is where you get your inspiration. This is where you get your teaching and training. And, you know, simply, if you want to build a business, this is where you have to be.
Thanks, Lynne. And that's why you're an ambassador, because you attend a conference, every conference. You don't miss them.
Thank you, Sue. It's great to say hello to everybody on the call.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the webinar, and of course Terry and Lynne are still in the United States, and they'll be coming back in time for conference, as you heard Lynne say. And those pictures that you can see there of Lynne with her hat, we did a Home Among the Gum Trees on stage for the Rally for the Mission, and that was to raise money for the Progress Foundation, which they raised several $1,000, tens of thousands of dollars, I should say, and we're currently feeding over 42,000 children for that rally. There's the President of Reliv Asia Pacific, Scott Montgomery, who is also the Chairman of the Progress Foundation, and it's just so heartwarming to see what we are able to do through that Progress Foundation. It really is the heart and soul of Reliv, helping so many people. And you would have been so proud of the Australian New Zealand contingent up there on stage and our performance that we did. And in particular, the highlight was one of our other winners, Taylor Ulufonua from New Zealand, did the Maori haka, and he absolutely brought the house down. He did such a fantastic rendition of the haka. Are you there, Taylor?
You there, Sue?
Yes, I am. I can hear you loud and clear. I was just telling everyone about that haka you did. It was absolutely fantastic.
Thanks. It was a little bit, had to build up the courage to be able to do that, but it was awesome to be able to represent our country at international conference. Awesome experience.
It was. You did an absolutely wonderful job. Now, this was your first conference, and you were able to win your way there. I might start. You may just quickly share your story for the people on the webinar.
Yeah, well, I came into, like I said, like I always tell people, I came in a little bit different to most. I came in for the business side of things. Studied a man, Robert Kiyosaki. He told me that network marketing was the business of the 21st century. He taught me that, you know, to be able to do what you want when you want, network marketing was the answer. And he also said that you had to find a company that had good products, there was a fair company, integrity was a big thing, and a business system that worked. And because I'm a martial arts instructor, well, I only had, you know, the only way I was going to go was health. So I got introduced to Reliv by my younger sister, researched a lot of hours on it, you know, 40 hours looking at Reliv systems and other health company systems as well. After listening to a couple of stories and doing that research, I just jumped straight in that master affiliate because I knew the opportunity was there. And lo and behold, it was, because, you know, in a short period of time, 10 months, I'm earning a monthly income as well as, you know, getting bonuses like winning your way to international conference.
Fantastic. It was great to have you there. So what was the highlight for you from conference?
The highlight too was it was really overwhelming. It was you know, I think a thing you heard a lot was, from people that were on stage was the fact that to be a Reliv distributor, you have to have your heart on your sleeve. And you know, a lot of successful ambassadors, etc., were saying that. And to be, when you're in a room with 5,000-6,000 odd numbers that all have their heart on their sleeve, and all, you know, we help people daily, just every day. It's part of our business. It's just overwhelming. It's just an experience that I'm glad that I experienced it now at, well, reasonably a young age, not really a young age, but 35 years old now. So I'm really happy I experienced that now, and happy that I can pass that on to my kids. You know, they're going to be a lot younger than I am, but so I'll be getting them there. In the near future to all our events and stuff.
Excellent. Now, were you able to do much networking over there? Like, did you share stories with people?
Yeah, I did share a few stories. Well, I had to share my story on stage and that. And because I've never been to the conference, I thought, oh yeah, I'll just take a few cards today. And on the first day, I ran out of cards. On the second day, I think it was after the haka. I think after the haka, then just all my business cards were gone. So I got to meet a lot of people, and you know, still to email a lot of them back and give them my details and stuff. But yeah, got to meet a whole group of people that are sort of on the same wavelength as me. So very exciting.
Because that is one of the huge benefits of conference, isn't it? It's networking with other distributors. And in this day and age, it doesn't matter where they come from, whether it be the UK, whether it be France, whether it be the US, because with, like, whether it be webinars or Skype or Viber, you can hook them up for a story to share their story wherever they are in the world.
Yeah, that's right. That's right too. And you know, things are just getting a whole lot easier for us, home business, in network marketing and that, because of the fact of Skype and, you know, just the internet and stuff. So it is easier to, you know, you can ring someone via Skype in the UK just like ringing someone down the road. So it's just a whole new ball game. And, you know, things are coming clearer to me because of Robert Kiyosaki's teachings. You know, things are just becoming clearer and clearer. The fact that network marketing is the future, and, you know, when you get great products like Reliv, when you get great things like what our scientists are coming up with now, which was probably one of the highlights of the conference for me, was, you know, the Lunar and the Lunar checks. Oh, you can just see that it's going to take the world by storm, and just proud to be a part of it, proud to be part of Reliv.
Excellent. Well, that's great to know. And even though the scientific information that they gave us was just phenomenal, you don't need to be a scientist, do you? It really is just about putting someone on a three-way call and letting them hear a story.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Sue. And that's how simple it is. You know, I think in the beginning I sort of got clogged up because of the fact I thought, oh, I've got to know a lot about these products, and you know, I've got to know every single detail. But use your upline. That's what your upline's there for, and you'll learn as you go. So it's worth jumping on the boat now because, you know, like I've said, after doing the research, I always say, you know, oh, Reliv's the future and all this sort of stuff. But when you hear what the Lunar Eject stuff, what Terry was talking about, it's just amazing.
That's true. So, Taylor, if we were to run another promotion to win your way to the international conference, what would you tell people?
Well, how to win their way, or just to,
yeah,
well, basically get there.
That's right.
For them to get there, they have to be, you know, like Lynne was talking about. International conference is very, very important. You know, I learned a lot of things before even going to conference. I learned that leaders attend events. You know, if you attend an event, it's going to accelerate your business tenfold. And now I'm living proof of that. Like, I came back from international conference. Kelly and I sat down with our team, and first business training, we're setting goals on how to get to Melbourne, our whole team. In our team, we've got people who've been in a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, just about 2 years. But the thing, because I experienced what events due to our international conference. I'm just really focused on getting our team there because they just need to witness it for themselves. In terms of winning their way to conference and that, if they, we just have to work as a team. We just got to set our goals weekly. We've got to check up on our goals as a team and just keep charging on from there, because once you set goals, you put your foot in it, so you've got to back it up, and we did that last week, and I think just a lot of people came back this week at business training just gone on the weekend, came back with their goals achieved. So we're climbing up the ladder slowly.
Oh, I think you're rocketing up the ladder myself. It's so true. That's just great advice. It's having that belief in yourself, isn't it? And really setting the goals. If goals are so important.
Yeah, goals are so important, and we've identified how we need to grow our businesses and how we're going to help other people grow their businesses as well. And first things first, Melbourne, and our whole team is focused on Melbourne, and no doubt we'll all be in Melbourne in October.
Excellent. Well, that's great advice, and I look forward to meeting your whole team there in Melbourne. You're really leading by example, Taylor, and that's what leaders do. And I'm sure you're going to be so successful in this business because you have got that attitude, and it really is all about having that attitude that you can do it and going out there and making it happen. So congratulations again on winning your way. Congratulations on that amazing haka that you did for everybody. And yeah, it's great having you on the webinar today. And just thanks Taylor, while we're still in New Zealand, it leads us over to someone who attended, I think, their 13th International Conference, and that is Nathan Goodhue. Were you on the webinar there, Nathan? Are you there, Nathan?
Hi Sue, it's Bernie. Nathan's unmuted, but we're not getting any sound from him. Why don't you move on and we'll come back to Nathan.
I think Christina's with him too, isn't she?
Christina's with Rosa. Nathan's got a different ID.
Oh, okay. So are you there, Christina?
I've got the laptop here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, I'm on Rosa's ID. If you want, I can talk on my ID.
Is that you, Nathan?
Yes.
Okay, can you talk up a bit? It's great to have you on the webinar.
Say that again?
I said it's great to have you on the webinar. You'll need to speak up because you're a little bit soft.
All right. The thing I like about the conference was the people in Germany and France and England that a few years ago were making a couple of $1,000 a month, and now they're all making over $100,000 a year. So I thought that was very good. Meeting all those people and seeing their progress in the last couple of years, 3 to 4 years. That was my best impression of the conference. All right.
It must be like a little bit of a reunion for you, Nathan, going back year in and year out and catching up with the ambassadors and the other distributors from around the world.
Yes, it's got its positive side. It's quite good to meet up with all the people we've seen a couple of years ago. So yes, it's very good.
And what was your highlight from this 25th anniversary conference?
Meeting the international people from Germany, France and England. That was the main thing I liked.
Right. And you, of course, will be coming across to the Australian-New Zealand conference in Melbourne in October. Have you got a message for people about attending conferences?
I think it's a very good idea to attend the conference and learn as much as they can from all the other people that are there, achieving success.
Very good point. Now, you must be so proud because your downline won her way to that conference, and you might share with us how that happened, like how you set that goal for her or told her about the promotion and basically put the belief in her that she could do it.
I think Yeah, I think she had relief she could do it, so it's just a matter of working out how many people she had to draw out, which I think was around 50 or 60 people, somewhere in that region. Just a matter of doing the work, and it's what the work you've got to do each month, and then going out and doing it, not leaving it for the last week or 2 weeks. So,
Yeah.
You set a goal, get started on it, take action.
Because a testament to your success, Nathan, is the fact that not just were you there, you had your downline May Copeland there, her downline Rosa Ryu, and of course Christina was frontline Hugh, who had won her way to conference. So that's a great accomplishment to have 3 other people in your team there with you. Christina's right there with you, isn't she?
Yeah, she's here. Yeah.
Okay, would you put her on for us? And we'd love to speak to our other winner, Christina Ulufonua. Christina Finau.
Yes, hi, my name is Christina. I'm here. What can I do for you?
Congratulations, Christina. Now, one of the highlights for me, I have to say, is just to set the scene, Steve Hastings and our people, if they could tell their conference story in 30 seconds. And we first got Rosa up to share her story, and that's because our people were sitting absolutely front row. But Rosa hadn't been told that she had to share it in 30 seconds, so she gave a fantastic rendition of her story, but her normal, minute to 2 minute version. So then Christina said, I can do it in 30 seconds, and I think you shared your story in about 15 seconds. And you don't have to do it in 15 seconds now, but would you please share your story for everybody on the webinar?
Okay, I started to look at the business because I want to work from home and be a mother. But when Nathan showed up with the business, it shows they have the products, so I tried the products. And so that was the first impression. So the product downsized me from size 30 to 20. Not only that, I had a big lumps on my arms. It was clear in 3 months, and I thought, if this is great, I'm going to share it with everyone I know.
Fantastic. I must tell everybody too that both your story and Taylor's story is in the lifestyle that will be coming out next week, and I urge everybody to go to that lifestyle, which will be available online. It will also be emailed out to people, and read these stories of these 2 people, because they both joined looking for a business. They're both really reasonably brand new. You've only just joined in December, I think, and here you were winning your way to the International Conference. So I'll just start with that. So when you've seen the promotion, you're a brand new distributor, you obviously have, the belief that you could do it, that self-belief. You've got a fantastic attitude.
Yes, because actually, yes.
So you've seen it?
Sorry.
No, you go. Sorry, I'm cutting in on you. You go. Please share.
Okay, I see the product is really good, really working. And then we got a system to follow. All I have to do is open my mouth and share it. Simple as that. You can get wherever you want for just doing that.
So really it's as simple as that, just talking to lots of people and sharing really with them.
Yes, because they got the products outstanding, and not only that, got the system there, so we don't have to dig our head to look for way to work. It's already there. All I have to do is just open my mouth and share it with people how great the products are.
Well, that's great advice, Christina, and it obviously worked because you won your way to the International Conference. So tell us, what was a highlight for you from conference?
Well, I just call it phenomenal. Just from meeting people and higher income earner, my mind was exploded. Because I just got home and I realized Nathan asked me to do a talk on Saturday. Did I note something down? I just looked, it's just half a page. And I said, you know why? Because I just can't get my eyes off the mouth of these people. The passion they talk about it, and all the lunacy thing. I said, I was exploded, and I go to bed and my brain was still rolling. So I am still. So everything is phenomenal at the conference.
That's great to hear. And was it what you expected? People often hear about it's fantastic seeing the big picture. Would that be a good explanation for you?
Oh, yes, yes. It's just like everything there, it just blew me up to run the business and show the world how great products that we have in the business system. We can become healthy and wealthy at the same time.
Excellent. Now you were fired up. You were fired up before you went, Christina. Has it even made you more fired up to do this business, and you've seen the big potential of the business since you've returned?
Yes, because actually I just talked to some few people on the way back, and what it makes me realize that fear that shut my mouth up. Some people I thought that they probably know more. I don't have to, but when I get big, I have to sleep at night with my body does sleep, but my brain was kind of like rolling. You know, this is a great opportunity and great business that I ever come across, honestly.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing that and for being on our webinar. And as I said to everybody, make sure that you look up the lifestyle when it comes out this week, because it's a great story of Christina and going from strength to strength. And what would be a parting message for you as far as people that are, you know, weighing up whether they should attend the Reliv Conference in Melbourne in October?
Because going to the conference, you see the big picture. More people earning more money. It's not like, because here in New Zealand we got quite a small group here, and everything is small in New Zealand, but when you go to the conference, it just exploded and unexplainable. So it's just like zoom the business. If you want to make money and get there, that's the only way you can get from this conference. That's all I can share with them.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on the webinar, Christina, and we look forward to seeing you in Melbourne. And now we'll go across to all the way down to Tasmania and attending their first international conference. And actually, I'm thinking your first conference as well would be Ian and Judy Keane. You there, Ian or Judy?
Yes.
Hi, Judy. How you doing?
Really well, thanks.
Excellent. So your first Reliv conference, it was not just your first international conference, so that was obviously a big decision for you to make, an investment of your time and money to go there. How do you feel it benefited you personally in your business?
Well, it just gives you a better overall picture of what Reliv can do for people and what Reliv can do for your own business yourself. It sort of fires you up to get out there and spread the word, especially with Luna Rich and the patents that the products have. It's just fantastic.
And what was a highlight, or a couple of highlights, Judy? Like what really stood out for you from the conference?
The fact that everybody's willing to share. It doesn't matter who they are or where they're from. You get to meet so many different variety of people. The main thing I got from the conference was to always share the business and always use the system, because they work. And if you don't have hours in your day, you can just use minutes to get the job done.
Yeah, that's great advice, because that really was the message coming through, wasn't it? That you don't need to complicate it. It really is a matter of just keeping it simple and sharing. And I imagine you were able to network with lots of people and get lots of business cards and people to follow up to share the stories.
Definitely, yes. Collected lots of business cards, heard lots of business stories as well as health stories to be able to connect the people with from home here.
It is really quite good going as an international distributor, isn't it? Because we do have our own international reception where you get to meet with the corporate people, and also from distributors from the other international markets outside North America. But we also had that special spot right in front, and we had lots of recognition up on stage as well, our distributors. You were up there yourself a couple of times.
Yes, we certainly did. Front row seats were fantastic. You just didn't miss a thing. Everything was so clear, and yeah, getting up on stage was easy because you only had to walk a few meters.
And how does it feel, like farmers from Tasmania are up there on stage being presented, you know, with awards and things in front of thousands of people? Was that a thrill for you?
Very thrilling and unbelievable, really, just for the first conference and only being in Reliv a short time. It's just amazing.
Excellent. Is Ian there with you?
Yes, he is.
Ian, did you want to share? Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
That's the way. And highlights for you for conference, because I know everybody, like, something touches everybody differently. What really stood out for you?
Well, I guess if I can just start at the beginning, we were a bit undecided about whether we should go or not, and Terry and Lynne sort of encouraged us to go. We course they knew we milked cows. They said cow manure on one hand or a conference on the other. So we decided to go to the conference, and we're so glad we went, and we're grateful for their hospitality and showing us around the country, as well as meeting a lot of new people. And I guess that's one of the big things that stood out to me, was the people were so encouraged about the products and the company they were working with. Give them a wonderful opportunity to share with people, not only to make some money, but to also to make people, I guess, well again, giving some relief from some of the drug companies. So, and I guess the exclusive rights to Lynne being announced was one of the highlights for me, and also share the way that they are able to share with the underprivileged people in parts of the world through the Clogger's Foundation is something that I guess we didn't really know too much about, and that was a highlight for us as well.
Yeah, well, I was so proud of all our distributors being up there on stage for that rally for the vision. Everybody did such a fantastic job. Let me ask you, was conference what you expected, or was it different to what you thought it would be, or did you have no expectation?
Well, I didn't really have any idea of the size of what it would be. We thought, well, only a small company might only be like a few hundred people, but they were, like, I guess the excitement of it, all the people stood out. They were, you know, bursting to tell people about the products and about the opportunity to have a better lifestyle, which I guess something as dairy farmers, we've been tied up to the farm for years, and I guess this has been one way where we've been able to travel thanks to the company and the products.
Yeah, well, that's actually, you make a really good point there, because it is a business expense, and of course when you travel, like went overseas like that, you then took the opportunity to have a Caribbean cruise in addition to attending the conference, so that was lovely for you. And people, of course, you know, when they're travelling into Melbourne, have that same opportunity. They're coming from whether it be New Zealand or interstate. And Judy, do you have a final message for people about getting to that conference in Melbourne, Take the Lead conference?
Well, before I attended the international conference, I probably wouldn't have put so much importance on going to a conference because I didn't know anything about it. But after attending the international conference, I'd say get there at any cost.
Yeah, that's really good advice, because I know over the years that's the one thing that people have said to me. They just don't realise what a conference can do for your business. And it's not just getting yourself there, it's getting your people there, whether they're brand new or whether they've been around forever. They really need to go to conference, don't they?
Yes, I'd agree with that.
All right, thanks, Judy. Well, we'll go back now to New Zealand to our final guest, and that is Rosa Ryu, who was also attending her first conference, and we can see her up there on the screen receiving her plaque for sponsoring 5 people. How are you, Rosa?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Great. And let's hear, what did you think of your first Reliv International Conference?
Yes, to me it was the first conference, and it was just so impressive with all distributors who are from all around the world. I actually took off my work for the conference and tried to see it available and including the people.
And Rosa, you did enjoy sitting right up the front, because I know you were so excited because you won a T-shirt, yes, and you grabbed a ball and you were asked to share your story. Yes, and you were at the international reception. You were able to network with lots of people and swap business cards and obtain people's cards to share stories.
Yeah, the conference was the most trip compared to my other holiday traveling. And then the most session was the several workshops with the know-how and the directions of the destination and valuable business. And then therefore I committed myself to work in valuable business until the crown. And I shared my product story and business story with hundreds of people and their friends, each other. And I deeply appreciate the opportunity of 25 seconds my story which I had. That was so powerful because of that, many people came to me and then they want to know more about me. And with that, I have more friends and I also meet them through the available Facebook after the conference.
Excellent. So I'm sure you'll give the same message to everybody that they need to get to Melbourne
Yeah.
to take the lead conference.
Yes. So I'll see all of you and next conference as well.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Melbourne. So thank you so much, Rosa. And I'd just like to bring somebody else to share their conference highlights with you, and that's someone that has attended conferences, of a similar nature when he's worked for other companies, and that's our sales manager, Birch. This is your first Reliv conference. What was the highlight for you, Bernie?
Hi, Sue. The highlight for me, really, without a doubt, was, well, let me take it back, just one step back. You're right, I've been to lots of conferences over the years, in the over 15 years I've been in the industry, and, they're all of a similar concept that conferences is all about. But one thing that I really noticed at the Reliv 25 International Conference was the quality of speakers. It really took me aback, because you go to a conference and generally speaking you'll have a handful of people, of speakers, presenters who are really good. Then you'll get probably a third of them that are okay, but then you always get that certain percentage of them that are actually bore the audience to death because they're just not great presenters. But every single presentation was done by a really high quality speaker. The quality of the speakers was absolutely incredible right across the board. There was not one presentation that wasn't well done, with great content and delivered really well. I was just so impressed with it, and it just really says a lot about the company, because that had corporate people as well as field leaders doing the presentations, and it really was sensational. And I would just like to reiterate what some of the guys have said here on the webinar today. And again, from my experience of being in the industry for as long as I have, people don't understand it. And I thought Judy really nailed it, and Ian, is that they didn't know what to expect. And Judy said that until she went, she didn't understand the significance of it, and she wouldn't have put an importance on it to tell her team to get there. But now that she's been there, that's exactly what she would do. She would let people know how important it is. And that's something that you hear time and time again. You cannot share the emotion and the experience in words of what you get going to a conference like that. And it's just amazing what it does, and it recharges people and it inspires people. And there's only one way to really understand, and that's actually to be there. And you're right with that, with our two Win Your Way winners in Christina and Taylor. What a great effort for them to win their way, but not just for them to win their way, but both of them are so new in the business, have been in the business for less than a year, and it just proves that it works. And if you have a look at all the people that went, if you have a look at on the screen right now, May Copeland is on the left, who couldn't be on the webinar today and sends her apologies. You have a look at all these people, and Pauline Byrne on the right of the screen there, who also wasn't able to make it today and sends her apologies. But you have a look at all the people that went, and it proves that it works, and people need to understand that. It's actually proof that it works, and all these people are out there, and these are leaders, these are emerging leaders, these are new leaders, these are leaders who've been around for some time, and by getting there and doing it and experiencing it and then coming back and sharing it, they're just proving that it works. And I can't express enough, and I think Terry and Lynne were absolutely correct. It's for us to have the rights to this Lunison technology, for this partnership that we've done as a company with Soy Labs, and the webinar last week with Ryan Schmidt was so significant to explain that and why it's so important. This is the start of something huge, and I don't know if people truly realize. I see that Terry does, and I really absolutely 100% affirm everything that he said. This is the start of an explosion. There is absolutely nothing in front of us to stop us from becoming the biggest and the best. We are, and I loved his analogy of the coffee. I love that. If you had the rights to the caffeine, that's exactly where we stand. And that was just amazing. So Sue, I can't speak highly enough of it. It was just incredible.
I would agree with everything you say, Bernie, and I think one of the things too that's important, which I really applaud the upline of both Taylor and Christina, and that's Kelly and Paul Kingy and Nathan Goodhue, in that they didn't prejudge, they didn't think that these people are new, they put that promotion out there to them to win their way right from the start. And it's the same with when you're inviting people to conference. When you're talking to a brand new person, you can be talking to them about conference at the same time, can't you?
Sue, absolutely. And and as I say over and over again at every presentation on just about every webinar that I do, is that part of the sign-up process with the new distributor is you sign them up, you enroll them in AS50, and you register them for conference in Melbourne. That should be just an absolute lay down misère or a no-brainer, whatever analogy you want to use. That should be part of the process.
Well, thanks again, Bernie, and congratulations to all our people, whether they won their way or they invested their time and money in attending that international conference. It is such great value that they have got from that. You've just heard how excited they all are. Those that couldn't be on the webinar today do send their apologies, but they all had such a marvellous time. It was just fantastic, and I urge all of you to attend next year, but more importantly, to look forward now to our next major event on the Australian-New Zealand calendar, and that is our conference in Melbourne. Before we get to that conference, we have some events that are taking place with our sales manager, Birch. Will be travelling. He's been travelling around the country. He was in Brisbane and Ipswich last week, and he'll be in Melbourne this week, and then he's in Whakatane in Auckland later on in the month. And all those special events you can find on our website where they're kept updated. And I just want to talk about at those events that and they would have already seen that in Brisbane and Ipswich last week, that there are new opportunity slides that Bernie is showing at those presentations. These aren't set in concrete, so please, if you're a leader in this business or anybody, take them along. They look fantastic. They're fresh, they're new, they've got a great feel to them. I urge you, to get along to these meetings because they are fantastic, the new opportunity slides. Bernie does a great job in presenting them, but they are really duplicable for anybody can get up there and do them. But we still urge, if anybody has got any, thoughts on them, we're open to suggestions, so please, that's what it's all about. We want this to be, we're here for you. It's a team. And what you want out there, we're happy to give you. So please come back to us with some feedbacks on what you think of the new opportunity slides as you see them. And of course, our Take the Lead conference is happening in Melbourne on the 11th and 12th of October. You've heard us now announce our special guest is Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer Brett Hastings. Brett, what you might not know, he's in charge of the whole of manufacturing. He worked side by side with his father, Dr. Carl Hastings. He knows all there is to know about the Lunar Rich. He's got lots to share with you on Lunar Rich, on readers' exclusive rights to Lunar Rich, what this can mean for your business. He will also give you a full, analogy of all about the products, from the manufacturing, right from the point of view, from when they first get that ingredient into our warehouse, right till it goes out. And he's got a really exciting announcement, a couple of exciting announcements to make too. You've already heard our Hall of Fame member Terry Renton tell you that he'll be at conference. We've got a fantastic lineup. The dinner, I encourage you all to get to the dinner. It's a dinner with a difference this year because we are having our a lot of recognition at that dinner. So it's an awards dinner. It's not like the usual format. So there'll be lots of recognition and awards handed out at that dinner. So make sure that you enroll for that dinner as well. And we have some promotions lined up heading into conference too. We've got the Take the Lead and Win. 3 new quick starts is all you need this month and next month to receive $500 at conference. Now these are exclusive to conference attendees. You have to be at conference to receive your prize. Sponsor 6 new quick starts or above. And in addition to your $500, you can receive airfare. So if you're coming from New Zealand, you can have your flights paid for. And there's also, whoever sponsors most new AS50 distributors can earn 2 nights accommodation at conference. So there's some great promotions there. We've also got, just for this month only, buy a can of vanilla Slim Simply or add it to your auto ship and get one free. And our weekly Facebook promotions. So make sure you head to Facebook around 3 o'clock every Monday to see what the newest promotion is on for this month. Next week's webinar, it's a surprise. We haven't announced it. We've got a surprise guest for you. Bernie was really doing his best at conference, at the International Conference, and he, I think, spoke to nearly every Hall of Fame member that there was to line them up for a webinar. So he has got some of the biggest names in Reliv lined up for these webinars over the coming weeks, so you are in for a real treat with the webinars. So I have to applaud Bernie on the great job he did with, you know, shaking hands and introducing himself, and the next breath was he available for a webinar. So he's got some great ones lined up. So thanks everybody for being on the webinar, and look forward to seeing you all in Melbourne. Bye.